Everyone struggles with procrastination in life. The difference between the successful and unsuccessful, however, is their ability to stick to their goals and plans till the very end. And they do this regardless of how they feel and whatever tries to come against them. Now, Erin Nightingale says, successful people are not those without problems, but those who have rather learned how to solve their problems. I'll say that again. Successful people are not those without problems, but those who have learned how to solve their problem. And procrastination is one enemy that every successful man must defeat. If you can't conquer procrastination, you actually cannot create success. It's the common enemy of success. Hi, my name is Ifeanyi Godfrey, and in this short audio program, you will finally know how to defeat the common enemy of success that has plagued humans for the whole of human history: procrastination. A few questions about procrastination as we get along. Why do so many people procrastinate? What is procrastination and how can you defeat it? What does a successful know about being consistent that you really don't know? Is it possible to completely eliminate procrastination and get to a point where you act on autopilot? All right, just stay tuned and you're going to find answers to these questions. Stick around till the end. So what then is procrastination? Procrastination is often known as putting off what you ought to do now for a later day or time. You must also have heard that procrastination is the thief of time. Now, that's also very true. However, procrastination is not just the thief of time. I also see procrastination as the thief of life. This is why every act of procrastination leaves you worse off. You always tend to regret, feel less of yourself, feel unmotivated and unhappy, thereby producing that unfulfilled life that you have experienced over and over and over again. So you see that procrastination steals your happiness, steals your joy, steals your fulfillment in life. Because the end product of procrastination is actually unhappiness. So for you to listen to this audio means that you have experienced what I'm about to say firsthand, or what I'm talking about right now. And you can attest to how you always feel every time you procrastinate. Every time you procrastinate on important things that you should have done. Every time you procrastinate, you postpone your success to a future that is not guaranteed. Because what you always have at your disposal is the present moment. Your future is just a promise. Doing what needs to be done now is very important. You don't know what the next hour holds. You don't know what the future holds. So your very best bet of success is taking action now. You must figure out a way. You must find a way. You must learn how to take action now. It's not optional if you want to become successful. It's compulsory and mandatory that you find your way out of procrastination. In life, your most valuable asset is time, and you don't have control over the hands of the clock. What you do with time is therefore critically important. Time cannot be reversed. So because of that, time must be revered, treasured, and maximized. Every time you lose, you cannot renew. And the most common way to waste time is always to procrastinate on important things. And the procrastination steals your time, it equally steals your life. So, why do many people procrastinate? Now, it's funny how so many people don't even know why they procrastinate. But you see, nothing just happens. There is a reason why you keep procrastinating. And in my many years of helping people stay accountable to their goals and from in-depth research, I found that many people procrastinate for one common reason. There could be a lot of other reasons, but this is quite very common as to why many people procrastinate. And if you are a procrastinator, if you have procrastinated over and over again, I'm sure you're going to find what I'm about to say very important, and you can also attest to it. Now, one reason why many people procrastinate, which I think is the most important reason why many people procrastinate, is the lack of connection to their future self. I'll say that again. I found out that many people procrastinate for this one common reason: the lack of connection to their future self. Don't worry, it will make sense to you as we get along. Many people seem not to stay constantly motivated to act on their goals because they easily lose connection with their future self. This is the major cause of procrastination. Now, beyond laziness, beyond lack of strategy, beyond the lack of planning and any other thing that might lead to procrastination, right? The major cause is the fact that you are not in the same mental frequency with the goal that you have set. You understand this in a bit. So every time you procrastinate, it's because your mind is not constantly focused on your goals or the future that you want to create. Your mind is like a high priority machine. It only works towards what you feed it. Your mind will only get your body to work towards what you constantly feed it. You'll be wondering, what does this have to do with procrastination? It has everything to do with it, because your actions are always engineered from your mind. And when I'm talking about your mind, I'm talking about your subconscious mind. 93% of the actions you take is controlled by your subconscious mind. So whenever you procrastinate, it simply means that the goal you want to achieve is not yet a factor in your subconscious mind. Because once it is, then your actions will be betrayed. You will always find yourself taking action. So now, the question is, what really inspires action? What is that one thing that must be in place for someone to take action? What is the trigger for action? Can you guess? If you think deeply, you will agree with me that the most important influence over our action is our feelings. There are a lot of other things that affect what you do, but one of the most important things that affects the action you take at every particular time is how you feel. Most of the self-motivated actions that you have taken, they are because you felt a certain way in a certain moment, and then you got yourself to take action. So most of the time, what you do is largely dependent on how you feel. If you can control your feelings, you can control your actions. And anyone who can control their actions can almost control their life. So for instance, you set a goal at the beginning of the year, and you find it hard to stick to the goal. You find it hard to fulfill that goal because you procrastinate. You made promises to yourself countless times, and you have even tried working with an accountability coach, an accountability partner, or an accountability group, but still you feel like something is missing. So what exactly do you think that is? Now, the ability for you to get yourself to take action when you want to is what is missing. That's all. The ability for you, irrespective and independent of any other external influence, that you can generate the motivation, the energy, the feeling internally to take action when you want to, is simply what is missing. You see, the reason why you wake up every morning and you still sit on your bed despite knowing you have goals to achieve is because you are not the one directly in control of your actions. And when I mean you're not the one, I mean your conscious mind is not directly in control of your actions. So this is why you can spend a good amount of time during the day on social media, or you just try to get busy with a couple of things without being productive. So taking control of your actions places you above the 95% of people who daily struggle with procrastination. And this is what I want to help you achieve. The influence over your action is your feelings, as I stated earlier, how you feel. Now, this means you need to constantly have your feelings in place for you to take action. Because if you always feel like it, there is a high probability that you will take action. I'll say that again. If you always feel like it, there is a high probability that you will take action. So, hope you have been following me up to now. I'll do a quick recap. Just a few things I have stated earlier, in case you have forgotten again. You cannot be successful in life if you don't learn how to deal with procrastination. Number 2, procrastination comes down to your actions. Whether you procrastinate or not depends on how much you are able to control what you do. More often than not, what you do is traceable to how you feel. It's traceable to your feeling, meaning that your emotional state of being plays a huge role in your actions and inactions. So let's continue. Your feelings are always a transmutation of energy from your thought to your body. Your feelings, how you feel, is simply energy transferred from what is going on in your mind to your body. So it means that your mind sends information to your body as an emotion, as a feeling. Whenever a thought is repeated in your mind supplies that thought to your body as an emotion or as a feeling. So every feeling in your body is created by an information that has crystallized over a period of time in your mind. So for example, when I set a goal I want to achieve, the easiest way for me to get myself to take action constantly on that goal is to ensure that my feelings resonate with that goal. And one of the easiest ways to get people to take action on something is to appeal to their emotions. If you understand marketing, this goes on to say that when you're not taking action on a particular thing, that idea is not crystallized in your mind. This is scientifically proven and is widely applicable in any area of life, be it in marketing, in relationship, in parenting. The fact that feelings always sells beyond facts. Feelings always sells beyond fact. So marketers and salesmen who understand how to touch the emotions of their prospects will likely get them to buy. So this is the same thing that is applicable to you when you want to achieve a particular goal, when you want to take action towards a particular thing. The fact is that the goal is important, and achieving that goal will make you feel better. Achieving that goal will make you feel worthy of the goal of your life. So most times, facts about the goal don't just create enough energy towards that goal. If it does, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So the motivation that comes from facts is not sustainable. Now, this is why, despite you set very high and lofty goals, backed up with different strategies here and there, you still get to procrastinate. This is why after taking so many classes, paid courses, hiring coaches and all of that, you still end up procrastinating. So the question is, how do you control what controls your actions? What controls your action? How you constantly feel. How do you control your feelings? Let's talk about that. Now, with a very simple act of meditation for at least 10 minutes on a daily basis, preferably, if you're just starting off. And also, if possible, at the beginning of the day. That's all you need to start taking control of your feelings. Now, this will ensure you always bring yourself into the same frequency with your goals. So, meditating on your goals, which is also thinking on your goals. Remember, I said earlier that every action you take is reflective of how you feel. And your feelings, most often than not, is an information that has been sent from your mind to your body. Your mind communicates to your body as a feeling. But the information that's going on in your mind is a thought, something you're thinking about. So when you keep on thinking about your goals, your mind will send the information of your goals to your body as an emotion, as a feeling. So how do you get to think constantly on your goals? It's simple: meditation. When you wake up every morning or before you go to bed at night, you pick up the goals you have for the year or a long-term goal, what you want to achieve. You make sure they are written in present tense as though they have already been achieved. Then you sit quietly and rehearse those goals to yourself over and over and over again. While you're doing this, allow yourself to feel the emotion as though the goal has already been achieved. When you begin to do this, first of all, you will observe some resistance from your body and your mind because you're not used to this, because what you're trying to do is to change a paradigm. You will feel like going back to your old programming, checking social media, doing the regular things you used to do, or your mind will begin to suggest things that you just want to snap out of that particular feeling of staying on your goals. You will always have your old programming fight you. You will begin to get thoughts in your mind that even begins to suggest the impossibility of the goal you want to achieve. What you must do is to sit still, because true power is the ability to get yourself to sit still, no matter how you feel or what is going on in your mind. So while you sit quietly without any external distraction or noise, and you keep on repeating your goals to yourself, do this for at least 5 minutes. And then you allow your mind to start creating mental pictures of your desired result. This is when you move into visualization. Allow your mind to picture the goal as though it has already been achieved. You ask yourself, what would my life look like if these goals were achieved? What would be possible for me? Now you sit back and keep those thoughts running in your mind for as long as possible. With this, you are trying to make your body think that the goal has already been achieved. You are trying to make your body become one with the thoughts going on in your mind. And as long as your body keeps feeling that way, it will leave you with no option than the right emotions towards the goal. With this, you are also bringing yourself to a point where you are now thinking like the person you want to become, feeling like the person you want to become, and inevitably, you will find yourself acting like the person you want to become. So these two things are important. If you can think like the person you want to become constantly, you will begin to feel like that person. If you begin to feel like the person you want to become, you will begin to act like the person you want to become. So people procrastinate because they keep seeing their goals as something they are working towards, something that is not real yet, something that they still want to achieve. And as long as you keep seeing it that way, there's a possibility that failure or lack of motivation can deter you from taking action. So with the constant act of meditation, affirmation, visualization, you make your body think the goal has already been achieved. With that, you feel the optimism, the motivation, the energy towards that particular goal. And if you do this on a daily basis, it becomes easy to reprogram yourself to take action consistently. Now, after you have mastered the act of meditation, you can now begin to think about all the other time management hacks, daily planning tips, how to execute strategies, and all those other things you have learned from classes, books you have read, and all of that has really not worked because you have not dealt with the root cause of procrastination. The root cause of procrastination is that every day you wake up, you don't feel in a way that supports the goal you want to achieve. And that's why you always want to find something else to satisfy how you feel. And those things will never serve you. Those things will never help you achieve your goal. So let's do a quick recap of what I just said so you don't miss the steps. When it comes to meditation, first of all, write your goals in present tense as though they have already been achieved. You have to find a quiet spot, preferably either just before you go to bed or in the early hours of the morning. And if possible, a quiet environment, no noise, no distraction. Close your eyes, sit quietly, begin to repeat the goals to yourself. Rehearse it to yourself as though it has already been achieved. Just the same way you wrote it down. Keep saying it until you can memorize it. Then you allow yourself to feel the emotions. Allow yourself to feel like you have already achieved the goal by creating mental pictures, visualizing the goal as though it has already been achieved. At this point, you are becoming one in harmony with your goals. Your body will begin to feel like the goal has already been achieved. And that's when you generate the energy, the motivation, the internal drive that you need to constantly take action on those goals beyond any external motivation that you were depending on. Now, practice this daily. If you really want to increase the rate at which you perform, practice it at least twice every day. Probably 10 minutes each. And then, if you want to increase the speed, the rate at which you take action, practice it for a longer period of time. Let's say for 30 minutes every morning and maybe 10 to 15 minutes every night before you sleep. And I can guarantee you, if you do this consistently, you will find yourself no longer procrastinating. Finally, before I go, let me share with you the 4 compulsory tips you must engage in order for you not to procrastinate again. So this goes hand in hand with the practice of meditation. Number 1, every night before you sleep, write out 3 things or 3 tasks you must accomplish the following day that will make the most impact in your life or business. Write down 3 things that you must achieve the following day that will make the most impact in your life or business. Number 2, prioritize them. Put the most important task as task A, the second most important as task B, and the least most important as task C. This does not necessarily mean you cannot do any other thing throughout that day. It simply means that you first of all focus on these 3 tasks and get them sorted, achieve them before you can move on to any other tasks. Then make sure you put a time frame on each of the tasks. How long will it take you to finish those tasks individually? Allot a time to each of those tasks and make sure to stick to the time. And once the time for a particular task is exhausted, make sure you move to the next task immediately. And when you want to start working, work with a time blocking system. Time blocking system, this is very simple. When you're set to work or to execute on the items on your list, after determining how long each of the tasks will take and then prioritizing them, all you need to do is to set a timer. Set a timer with breaks in between, and then you get to work. Always take like 10 minutes break after every particular task you have accomplished. And then the next thing you want to do is also to build a circle of like-minded people. Ensure to share how your day went, the goal you achieved, and what you're working towards with them. Accountability coach, accountability group, or a friend. If possible, let it be that you have people in your life who are more advanced than you that you can always share your goals with, and they can hold you accountable. Having applied these strategies is a proven system that you will never be in that state of low motivation or laziness where you constantly procrastinate. I hope this has brought you some value. Once again, my name is Ifeanyi Godfrey. And I believe that the major thing that has stopped many people from achieving their goals is the lack of self-discipline. Many people know what they need to do. They know why they need to do it. They know how to do it. And funny enough, they have what it takes to do it. They have what it takes to achieve the goal. But the problem is, they just don't know how to get themselves to take action consistently. Whatever result you think you're getting now, you can multiply that result if you know how to take the right action consistently without losing motivation. I have designed a phenomenal program that takes you on a 21 days journey to build lasting self-discipline, break procrastination, set and achieve your goals, and build daily consistency. If you got access to this audio program, I presume you have access to my email list or WhatsApp or any of my social media handles. You can shoot me a DM or an email to find out more about the program. The testimonials have been phenomenal, and many people have already said goodbye to what you're struggling with right now. I'll be expecting to hear from you, but for now, goodbye.